to another edition of Space Invaders TV, folks. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. Yes, peace be with all you guys. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, if you just tripped up upon the channel here, welcome. Stay a while. You know, we have good topics we speak on here. Um, to all my returning subscribers, I thank you all. Continue to keep watching, continue to keep sharing. Today's topic, as you see, we're going to get into it. We're talking love and relationships, um, love and marriage, um, toxicity, in relationships. Um, has toxic relationships become the norm? Have we normalized it? You know, some of the things that go on. And I don't want to harp on a Will and Jada's um, marriage or anything like that and their situation, but as I always say, Space Invaders TV, we talk about the things that go on in our community and our locally, nationally, all types of issues that you may sit at your table with your family or on your front yard or backyard on your porch, in your kitchen, and you talking with your friends, your family, associates about different issues and things that matter to you in your life. And that's what I try to bring to you guys here. And no, I don't like and don't choose to speak on entertainment, but if it coincides with life, if it's something in entertainment and they're doing something, and it really is something that us everyday people can relate to, then we shall talk about it. And after speaking with different friends and associates and family members, and they like, man, even my mom's, and that's what really prompted me to talk about this really today, because it was on me. And then my mom said something as well, and when she said something about the Will and Jada, and my mom said something to the effect like, you know, Jada is the most hated woman in the world right now. And I said, damn, man, in the world, and I stepped back and I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, you know, um, that's heavy, and that's coming from a woman. My mom's that's been married for 35 years. So that's for her to say that, and and I'm like, wow. And I'm married myself, so it's I'm not, I don't come to speak on someone else's marriage, but I come to make, we let's have a conversation. This is a time for you, the viewer. I need y'all to chime in. I need y'all to drop comments on how y'all feeling if y'all been through these situations. Now, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting paid to show y'all this book and everything. But during the week that Will Smith, when the smack took place at the Oscars, I had just finished reading his book. I had just finished it up that Friday before the Oscars. And and it's a good read, man. I'm telling you right now, it's a good read. He's honest. He's honest in this book about himself. He doesn't harp a lot on his marriage, but he does talk about different times and periods. He goes through periods in his life. He starts from when as a youngster, and he walks you through his life to present day. To up until the point where you guys may have seen when he dived out of the plane and everything. I don't want, if you go get this book, it's 19.99. Is that Walmart has it on their shelves or their website, however you want to shop and get it. Amazon has it. It's all the same price point, 19.99. Get the book. I'm gonna talk about a few things in here, but I don't want to spoil it for y'all. You know, so like I said, I'm not getting paid for that, but I don't believe in sharing. I don't like because one thing I don't get paid for that, and I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not I totally dislike when people have knowledge on something and they like to sell the knowledge that they have to the people. I'm not with that. You know, uh, you know, I'm just not with that. That's not my thing. To sell you some knowledge. I'm here to share knowledge with you. I ain't here to sell it. So that's what that's about. Um, and before we go in, and you'll understand where we going when I say this. Every person is not to be approached the same. When we talk because all we talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen, is relationships, relationships, relationships. That's it. Love and marriage, love and relationships. However, that's what we talking about right now. It don't matter your sexual preference. We talking relationships right now because we're people. At the end of the day, people and relationships. It don't matter. So we talking, love relationships. Okay, um, and then some not in love relationships. So that's what we talking. And so when I say every person is not to be approached the same, and when I'm saying that, I'm meaning like if you meet a person in a certain atmosphere, okay, you're a nice guy. Don't go to the strip club, you know what I mean, and trying to be nice. Like you wanna no, she's there, she wants you, she's just there for you to give give her your money. That's it. She ain't there for you to be nice. She's gonna suck her up to you so she can get you to go in your pockets and get your money. Okay? Know where to turn on the nice guy stuff at. You know, I'm not saying go to the strip club and be a butthead. What I'm saying is that's not the place for you, to just be all, sucker. She really don't care about that. All she cares about you is really going in your pocket and giving her the dollars, you know. That's it. Same thing, vice versa for the women. The dude, you go into the strip club too, he's not different. He's there for you. He wants you to go in your pocket and give him your money. You know, that's it. Let's be real here. All right. If other things happen after that, it happens. You know what I'm talking about. Right now, this is the time. If you have a teenager, that's in relationships and everything, and you want them to get some knowledge on some things, bring them to the table right now. Bring them to your room right now. Get your coffee out. Get your drinks out. And we about to get into it right now because this has to be talked about. All right. And I want to say something. We all know that women, when it comes to man and woman, we all know that women are more in tune with their emotions and feelings. Women are love. A woman is love, I should say. A woman is love. That's what she naturally is. A woman is a natural nurturer. From a child it starts. A woman is a nurturer from a child. She doesn't even know it. It isn't until she becomes older and starts to recognize, and when she gets in her teenage years, that she is, a nurturer. Maybe later in her teens, maybe 18, she may start to recognize that, I should say. Uh, and during those times, it is a point where the adult, her moms or whatever granny or whatever in her life, that's the point in those early years where the elder, the elder around her is to groom that, just to help her understand that she is special, that she is love, that this is her. This is what a woman is. She is a nurturer, a natural born nurturer from birth. It's in them. A male, we are rough. We come up. We as boys we like to play rough. We are conquerors. We're hunters. We have we protectors. We have Viking tendencies. Okay. Um, a man's love can be hard at times, or it can be absent altogether for various reasons. Okay, it can be absent for various reasons. Okay, um, it can be hard at times because some men are taught that, which is wrong. That some men have been taught that, yeah, oh, you gotta be hard, like they cannot express You are human. You have feelings. I'm not saying that you have to be some type of soft sucker, okay? But if you are, you are. That's you. But what I'm saying is you can cry. It's all right to cry. As a man, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. You are human. You are a human being. And some men are not in tune with that for various reasons because they were, some of us men, we are not groomed to be that. We didn't I'm not saying myself, but I'm a man. But some men, we're not taught that. They were taught you the man in the house, you do this, and you are to provide, and you and never and negate your feelings, your own feelings. Like you don't supposed to feel anything. Just you do this and you supposed to provide. A man supposed to be hard. That's wrong. And that idea is passed down through generations. That is wrong. You know what I'm saying? You are to feel. Those type of men can't even groom their children properly and communicate with their children because they were taught not to feel. Then the woman, she has to take up that slack and she has to pick up the children and all that. And she might drop the ball at times because she has to juggle so much. At that she might have to juggle so much. Because the man thinks, oh, I'm supposed to work and I'm supposed to provide and that's all I do. And she stay home and take care of the house. And then that's bullshit. Because today we definitely can't do that. You have to be independent. If you choose to stay home and that's how you and your spouse worked it out, that's fine. But you can't you still have to the man, you just can't today, you just can't go out there and want to work. You gotta come home and help out. You gotta come home and help her out. Because things have changed, especially if you have school age children, you know what I mean? And especially, things have just changed. So let me continue on. But if a man ever tells you, I ain't never been a sucker for love. I ain't never, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. I ain't never really loved no woman. You know what I'm saying? What that is, what that mean? He a damn lie. Okay? If he tell you he ain't love nobody, he a lie. A man, if he loved his moms, if he ain't love his moms, he had love and he was a sucker for love and loved his grandmoms. He loved his auntie or something. There was a woman in his life. Those women right there were the first women in his life. Those were the first nurturers. A man, humans we gravitate to nurturers. Those who nurture us. Those who don't and those who act away to us, we won't have a strong connection with them. you know so coming up, especially as a child, you need someone to nurture you. So those are the first people. That's why oftentimes you hear the hardest dudes, man, I don't give a fuck, man, my granny, yo, that's that one right there, my granny. Yeah, because that was the first nurturer for them. That was the nurturer for them. Maybe their moms may was there, may not was there. Their moms may have been there, but maybe had to work all the time, and Granny had picked up the slack and was babysitting them. They spent a lot of time with Granny, so Granny gave them that. Well, Mom Deuce had to go out there and had to go get it. You know what I'm saying? So, which those create other problems later on down the line too. But I'm just saying. So if a man ever tells you that he ain't never love a woman, he's a bald faced lie. And as the Christian folks say, the truth ain't in him. Alright? Because the first person that you gonna love and have that love for is, as a young man, it's gonna be your mom's. If it's not your mom's, it's gonna be your granny. If it's not your granny, it's gonna be your auntie. Okay? That's just how that rolls, man. And so it often bugs me out when I hear guys say that. And the same thing goes for women too. You know, women, like I said, to go back to the women real quick. Women are they are nurturers. That's in their that's in their DNA. That's in them. Um, A woman is love. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying a man is not love, but I'm just saying the woman the woman is a definition of love. They are the creator of life. They bear, they birth life. You know what I'm saying? They bring life into the world. They are love. You know what I'm saying? So it's in them. And it may take a little more for them to turn that light bulb off on you and turn that love off on you. But when they do, they become stone. They become stone for whatever ever reason. They become stone, man. And and you can't you you can't break that unless you are their child. A woman can the child can do no wrong. They bear that child. They birth that child. They birth that human, I should say. So they that you know that they gonna have unconditional love for their child, which is understandable. You understand me? But someone else, they may give you time and chance and chance and chance. But when they cut that cord on you, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're not gonna get what you're not gonna get that continuous love that they have for that child they may have bared. And if they don't have a child, then yeah, they may continue. It may go on longer for you until they figure it out. Like but still, whenever they cut it off, it's a wrap. When they fed up, they fed up. It's a wrap. So let me get right here to my notes, folks, because this right here, I don't wanna lose anything. So when we talk about like a situation with Jada and Will, the toxicity there, and you see when he smacked Chris Rock, I knew from reading this book, I knew where all of that came from. When all of that came from, see, a lot of people you hear him saying things. A lot of people, I can tell, a lot of people were just speculating things and everything. But when you read this book, you can understand, because Will Smith walks you through his young years as a child, and he brings you all the way through his whole life, through all his trials and tribulations, his relationships he had been in, you know, and everything. And you get the book, you will read that his relationships and things of that nature, and but that what he did, I understood where that came from. And so moving forward, it's like, there's a such thing as physical and mental abuse when you are in relationships. It's just not a physical abuse. People can mentally abuse you as well. And so when you think about Jada, she said things and publications. This is not no made up things. You can look it up and look into it yourself. If you watch a Red Table Talk, she had talked about it. Okay, and she weren't never in love with him like that. She didn't want to marry him. She wasn't happy with the marriage at all. She was forced into it by her moms. You know what I'm saying? After she had the first child. So that right there is a strike. She didn't want to be in it. Okay? She wasn't really there with it. See, Jada she was a simple girl, And I'm not saying she's still not. She wanted a simple life when Will courted her or whatever. And she was after a different world and everything when she was on a different world. Remember that sitcom? She's from Baltimore, Maryland area. She had bought a farm. Got a farm out there, and she was in the process of fixing that up when Will approached her. So Will pretty much swept her off her feet. Boom, she comes to LA. She just wanted a simple life. She was going to be one of those type of people. She was just going to live a quiet, peaceful life and have her farm and do that thing there, But he swept her off her feet. So all the things that he gave her, she really didn't want that. But he was just so, he got this vision of family and everything. You understand me? So he some things he wanted, and I don't. He never think he ever really took the time to really pay attention to how she just wanted the simple things. And to her defense, that can turn someone off. But then on the flip side, it's like, why did you stay? Okay, why did you choose to stay? If you weren't happy, if this is not what you wanted, why did you stay? And you didn't have only one child, you had two children. So why? Why did you allow your moms to even force you into something like that if you weren't happy? Okay, if you knew you weren't going to be happy in the long run. But then on the flip side, Will played a part, and he enabled her to treat him in the long haul how she's acting towards him, how she's being, how you're seeing, how we're seeing. He enabled that. And this is what we do when you're in relationships. You try to force, like, if someone doesn't see the value in you and doesn't love you, you have to move on. What are you staying for? What are you staying for? Why are you staying? You're being selfish to yourself, and in turn, you're going to truly mentally hurt yourself. Okay? And so you can fault Jada, but then you can't fault them. You have to fault both people in this situation, because Will enable her to continue to, like, he enabled that. Like, if you knew, and if you would have been just paying attention and stopped being so engulfed in your own and what you wanted, you could have paid attention to this woman and known that this is not the thing she wanted. And then maybe you could have just stepped off because she ain't fitting into your world. No matter how beautiful you think, and this is for everyone, no matter how beautiful you think a person is. And I wanted to use Jada and Will's relationship because it's perfect as a correlation of how people, we will look at people, and this is the beauty, or because the material items they got, we think, oh yeah, we think, okay, this person is broken, we think we can fix it. Some people are so broken, you can't fix it, man. Not an amount of love you can give can fix it for some people. And I'm speaking on experience. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because I go back to say, that's why I walked you guys through from the beginning. I talked about who were the first nurturers in a person's life. See, when the first people to nurture you, your mother, your father, then you go on to your grandparents, your granny maybe, really, then the aunties. Like, when those nurturers, those first nurturers that you identified with, if they go absent in your life for whatever reason, that can do something to a person to where they never bounce back. They never can bounce back. Or they just start going down, and then they become savages. Like, they don't care about your feelings. They just want what they want. It goes back to a foundation, is a base. Is a base where this thing starts. Everything has a root. Everything that has life has a root. So that's where it comes from. So Jada was really close with her granny. I don't mean, if I seem like I'm bouncing all over the place, I'm trying to keep everything connected. Jada was real close with her granny, right? So and then her moms as well. Those two were the most important women in her life. Okay, but if I want to think, it was her granny that was really, So Granny left her, man. I think some things, So then she had that her mom's it was just her and her moms. So then when you got someone of her mom's that she looks to, then her mom's forces her to be with this person. Yeah, she's gonna still love her moms, but let's not get it twisted. There's gonna be some resentment there with her moms too. She gonna forgive her moms a little quicker and faster than she would Will Smith. But it's some resentment there with that too, because you forced her into something that she really wasn't with. And if we really step back and look at it, the Tupac situation, Tupac is the guy, the type of guy that Jada likes. Okay, that's the type of guy and man that she likes. Someone who has knowledge, who has a little street about him, streetness with him. Cause I'ma just be clear, we ain't gonna say Tupac was street, okay? We not gonna say that. We not gonna say he was like one of the street dudes. He was not like a street dude. He just Tupac was a natural born poet. I love Tupac music just like anybody else. We rocked the Tupac music in the 90s like nobody else. You understand me? We rewind the tapes until they broke, okay? Then the CDs came, we rocked them till they scratched. Tupac was magnificent. He was one hell of a poet. You understand me? And Tupac was a poet for real. And he just knew how to flip that into the music. He knew how to turn that poetry into real, into the music. He knew how to flip that. That's the gift that he had. And he knew, he went to school for the performing arts. So he knew. He knew the game. He knew that he loved the arts. Okay, so and Jada did too, and she does. They went to school together, so they had that connection, that bond right there. And I'm not a gay man. Let's be clear. Tupac wasn't a bad-looking young man, and Jada ain't a bad-looking young woman. So I can imagine they both attracted. They was both attracted to each other. Okay, they had all the same. They lived in the same places. Tupac lived in Jersey, New York, Breedmore, Cali. Tupac was all around the country, man. So he's part of everybody, East West. You know what I'm saying? The East and the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And so them being from the same place, you know, at the same place at the same time. I mean, it was just perfect. That's the guy that she likes. That type of guy. Will Smith, he tells you in the book, he says himself he was a square. You know what I'm saying? He called himself a square. You know what I mean? And I love his book. I love Will Smith's book because he's honest. He honest about himself. He wasn't a tough guy. He wasn't none of that. He's not a, he wasn't a thug. He come from a two-parent home. You know, his mom and pop was like they opposites attracted. You know, like I said, I don't want to give away the book if you're gonna get the book, but their opposites attracted each other. But he come from a two-parent home. His granny was in his life. He loved them. He loved her as well. I mean, he had older siblings and everything. So, you know, Will Smith came from a kind of a solid foundation. Where Tupac, if you hear in his poetry that his shit was his life wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst either. Tupac identified a lot more with the struggle versus Will Smith, and there's nothing wrong with that Will Smith. He just was honest in his book, and I respect that to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? All the way through. I respect his book. And but I'm just showing you the difference between Jada and Will Smith. Will Smith and Tupac. That's the type of guy Jada likes. So my thing is to the people, if you like a certain person, if you know it's a certain type of guy you like, then, well, I don't want to say be with that guy because it could be the wrong guy, but you have to be with that guy. Don't force yourself to be with somebody you're not happy with. Because it's going to hurt everything. And if you create children, then it gets deeper if you create children with them. Because now you're bringing your children into that toxicity. You understand? You know what I mean? We let's talk right now. We talking some real talk here that we don't talk. Like that these are the conversations that need to be talked about. This is all how mental abuse starts. Because you start hurting because you made wrong choices on something, or maybe someone left your life at an early age, and then there's someone on the other side trying to love you like Will got. His love for her is like crazy, so much so that he's taken this mental abuse. He allowed himself to fall in this mental abuse, which so many people are dealing with today, whether they're married or not. So many people are dealing with that or have dealt with that. And big ups to all the people that made it out of those relationships, because that mental abuse could turn into physical abuse, or it could be physical abuse and mental abuse on top of each other. And much respect to those who made it out of those type of relationships, man, because it's hurtful, you know. And God knows if you had children, then you just adding on, and it starts to, now you creating a generational of abuse, because now your children may have to grow into seeing this abuse or hearing this abuse, and then it can go both. It can go two ways, or it can go. They can grow up doing this to others because this is what they've seen. Children and people oftentimes they'll mimic the environment they're in. You know, it's many that make it out of the environment, but it's many that mimic the environment they're in, and then that's why we see what we quote unquote the hood, and we see what we see going on in the hood. So much so, we see more of the negative things going on in our neighborhoods, and then positive, because so many of the high percentage of the people in those neighborhoods, they latched on to what they see. You understand me? So, okay, let's go on here. So when it came to Will Smith and everything, people say, Dad, what did that? When she turned 40, when Jada turned 40 years old, that's when it all went left for both of them. That's when the pipes burst. Then that's when it was a wrap. Then when her 40th birthday, she felt like, Will really flipped his top then, and he really spoke about it, and he spoke about that in the book. He flipped his top. That was it for him. And then so later on, you start to hear them say things like, "We are life partners." So this is at the point now that in front of the world, you're accepting. You're not saying you're married anymore. You're just saying we're life partners. You're using these. You're coming up with these phrases and shit, uh, but you're really not together. You're coming up with these damn phrases and like, yeah, we're life partners. Look, are you married or not, ma'am, sir? Like, this life partner shit. Nobody's, are you married or not? You know what I'm saying? So they start using that, but they weren't together. They were in the same house. They did, because Will didn't believe. He don't believe, and he didn't want that idea where his family is split. He wanted them to be together. So whatever that meant, if he felt that he got to put himself in these uncomfortable situations in order to make sure he has a permanent home base for his family, then so be it. They can roam wherever they want, pretty much, would it seem, but this is home base. We are family at the end. And that's what he wants. So it's like this mental abuse starts to take place. And then, you start to see what will happen in any relationship setting. When you start to, people say, I'm with him because we got kids, and I'm with him. I'm not saying that's why Will and Jada instead of get that, pretty much so, but you have people using those excuses. Well, we got kids together, and I don't want to. You can't. You have to find a way to make it to where you got to get yourself out of that. You know what I mean? Because it's not gonna be good for you or your children. You know what I mean? Mentally, you have to get yourself out of that, and you're creating mental you're continuing, you through your children, you will continue this mental abuse. You know what I mean? Through your children, you will continue that type of thing because, like I said before, we gravitate. Most people will gravitate what they seeing in their what goes on in their environment. Okay, and the culture that we set, within our homes and everything. So that's what'll happen. You don't want to be in that. Get out of that. And my thing, and so to move on from that, because I don't want to keep harping on that. So I want to go in and I want to ask you guys: are you a person who needs to be in a relationship? Are you a person that needs to be in a relationship and married? And why so? Why do you believe that you need to be in a relationship? And what are you doing to make that happen? Are you forcing relationships? And when you get in relationships, are you pressuring marriage? Let's go here. Where are you meeting these folks? Because it's all about where you meet people too. Some people find, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing either. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That some people meeting people in clubs and things of that nature, and then really that's not always like you're not gonna find your knight in shining armor in the club. People go to clubs and they go to party and have fun and listen to music, and a lot of people do go to the club with hooking up on their mind, like that's on their mind to find somebody to hook up with. You got some women going to the club for hoping to just wanting to get free drinks, nothing more, nothing less. Some women just want they may just want to go out and dance with a guy. Don't necessarily mean they want to be in a relationship or have any of that. They just want to have a good time. But there are those who are lurking and looking and saying they looking for that in those clubs, and that's not it. You gotta know where to go and find. It's all about the place you finding them. And if you find it, and this ain't no knock to no guy that's doing the street life hustling and things of that nature. But to the women, this for the women right here. I'm listen here, because I've been so sick and tired of seeing and hearing this for so many years. To the women, if you dealing with a young man and you dealing with a cat and he's out in them corners, he's out in them streets, and that's all he ever did, then ma'am, listen. If you lay down and have a child with him, understand this. You go on a child support, what are you going to get? What do you think you're going to get from him? If you haven't changed him, if you think that you have showed him all the love and done all of this and it nothing worked and he's just still going to be him, quote unquote, the dog or whatever you want to call, if you think he's still going to be that, it goes back to what I said early on in this segment. There's a root to everything, and some people hurt. And some people won't see love and nothing else. They start to become savages if they may have lost the first nurturer in their life. Because if that nurturer was still in their life, they could kind of get to them and kind of help them see life a little clearer. But sometimes when that first nurturer leaves them, you can't some people can go down, some people can get stronger. But if you dealing with a guy and he out there in that street life, and when you met him he was out there in that street life, what do you think? What do you think and he ain't changing for you, and you think you showed him all the love, all the respect, all you were so trustworthy, you showed him how trustworthy you are, but he never showed you half of that in return. Then you lie down and had children with him, and then this guy ain't doing nothing. He ain't responsible. Ma'am, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You can't blame nobody but yourself. And you must listen to your insides first, the first instinct. If you think and know that this person is not for you, then he's not for you in haul ass. Okay? Stage left. Get up out of there. All right? Because, you have to start listening to self. Same thing for the young men. If you're dealing with a young lady and you think you showing her all the love, and then you knowing an inside of you as well, this for both parties too, and you both knowing inside of you that this person ain't for you. You know that she ain't your speed. Get up out of there. Leave them alone. You ain't on their level. See, being on somebody's level ain't about financially. Mentally, on a person's level. Mentally, if you're not on a person's level, like if they just like running the streets and you more of a conservative person, you like handling your business and all they like to do is run the streets, that ain't you. Get up out of there. Why waste your time keep arguing about something that's not you? Get up out of there. Don't don't and even if you the type of person that like running the streets and she don't, and then every time you run the street she's saying something to you about it, if that ain't, get up out of there. Because if you want to run the streets and she want to be, and that's not her thing, but she's always nagging you, get up out of there. Why keep going back and forth? Why keep dragging each other with the mental abuse? If somebody's not on your level, leave them alone. If someone shows you and they tell you that you ain't it for them, leave them alone. Because if you stay, they're going to continue to keep treating you like they want to treat you, and then they're going to be like, oh, you're allowing it, and so they're going to keep doing it. People are only going to do what you allow them to do to you, and that's on all things. They only going to do and say what you allow. Remember that. And so we see with Will Smith what's going on. He allow it. She going to do it. She ain't never stopped him when he walked up them steps. She never stopped him and said, hey, what do you do? Don't do that. Don't. She never dragged him, nothing. She never stopped him. She didn't care. Her heart's cold. It's been cold. She's stoned. She's just there to make it look good because he wanted to keep that family, that idea, okay? He wanted to keep the marriage idea. So she's just there for that. You see where he's sitting. You see she's sitting over there. These are the things that happen in relationships every day. And you don't even, you may be in one and don't even notice. Like, you're sitting right here, or you may, when y'all first got together, you know what I'm saying? Y'all went to eat and everything, he made he may ask you where you want to go eat. And he don't ask you no more. Or she don't ask you no more. All she do, she go get herself something to eat and don't bring you shit. Same thing, he might go get something to eat and don't bring you shit. He don't call to ask what you want no more. He just selfish, thinking of himself. Like, people gonna only do what you allow them to do. And like if people, like, it's just, you start to see things change. Sometimes people just get too comfortable too. People get too comfortable. But I don't want to get off, so I'm trying to stay on track here with y'all, because I'm trying to make correlation here. Like, look, the Will Smith and Jada, those relationships are everywhere. Those things are going on all around this country, okay? All around the world, them type of relationships are going down. People are with each other because it's a good look. That's whack. You know what I mean? If that's still happening today, that's whack. If you been with somebody because it's a good look, oh, because he got this, my child gonna have good hair, and he's gonna have this. You're whack for that. You're creating a toxic environment. You know what I mean? Like, you're definitely creating a toxic environment. Do you have or have you been in a relationship where nothing you do seems to satisfy your partner? Nothing you do. How do you deal with that? What do you do? So, like a Will Smith and Jada, nothing he could do with nothing he done. Her 40th birthday, she didn't like it. The wedding, she wasn't happy with it. Where they live now, the place that they bought, he really got it for her. She's not happy with it. She's not, like, people, like, nothing you can do for your partner, they could be happy for. Nothing. If nothing you can do for your partner makes them happy or satisfied, they don't want to be with you. They're not happy. That's a sign, ladies and gentlemen. Get out. Get out. Get out. It's just like, get out. That's just what that sign is. It's no, like, if you're doing that means you're doing everything and they're just not satisfied with it. Get out. How many of you dealt with someone who didn't let you meet their real representative until you got together or move in? Like they're a junkie, a liar, a thief, a cheat, untrustworthy, abuser of many things like drugs, people, just self centered. How did you handle it? And when did you finally walk away? You know? I'm asking these questions. I want y'all to put it in the comments if you have, man. This is a conversation and thing that we need to talk about. That are conversation pieces amongst many people. You know, how did you deal with those type of folks? That they didn't show you their real representative, who they truly were from the start. And then you get with them, and then you find out like, wow, you're a leech. But it's always one thing though, man. Sometimes we could get we all been there, we all done it. You get caught up sometimes, and the first thing we see on someone is the outer being. The outer being. Of course, we don't see the inside. We don't know what their heart truly is. But sometimes, a lot of times, some people, they're so toxic they can't even hide it. So you having a conversation. See, that's the conversation is the number one thing. Having conversation with somebody, you gotta know you need to know how to have conversation and speak with people. You know, especially in relationships, you need to know how to talk to, your partner or someone that you're interested in. You need to know like who you're approaching. Okay, there's conversations for all types of people. I'm gonna just say that's right. If you're meeting a hood chick or a woman that got that hood in her, you can't have an intellectual conversation with her. Like, if that's what she is, a hood type person or a hood type dude, you can't have intellectual conversations because you might say some things and they're gonna be like, what that mean? What do you mean when you say that? And you're just using basic, what you believe is basic grammar. So you can't. You gotta know who you dealing with. Like, what type of person are they? You know, and you gotta and but if you still meeting somebody and they not on your level, then you need to walk away. Because there are things at the beginning of you having a conversation that you will find there the people of that magnitude that are just more so they not letting you meet their representative. They're gonna say something that's gonna, like, the green light or the red light or yellow light, orange light gonna go off in your head, and you like, what? It's gonna be something that they're gonna say and do. You know, especially if you just spend one good week around them. Some people ain't gonna take that long, but if you spend one good week around them, it's gonna be something you're gonna find. You know what I mean? Some folks are too fast to jump into things. You gotta know how to take your time. You gotta know how to take your time when you are in relationships and just pay attention and listen to what the person is saying to you, to what their likes and dislikes, and what do they do, what are they about, what are their dreams, what are their aspirations, what the goals. Like, just listen to them, the family structure, talk about your family. You want to know something, start right there. Start right there with the family structure. Talk about their life, and then you'll start to see things when they talk to you. You'll see what triggers them with that. You'll see what perks them or what sends them in a spiral. Like, if you actually, they're like, oh man, my granny, man, my mom's, my aunt. I'm telling you, man. And then as it go on, they might keep going up, like, man. And I'm gonna tell you, my uncles, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, my son, my daughter. Hey, But then it may get, or it may be like, yo, man, my granny was everything, but yo, my mom's and my aunt, man, yeah, man. So my shit was crazy. You know what I mean? Like they start to go down, then you start to see what. Okay, so now you got to step back. There's an art to this whole thing to date. See, people just think, oh girl, he got a nice car. Oh girl, he got a good job. Oh girl, he look at his shoes. Oh girl, look at his how he dressed. Oh girl, he took me here. Fuck that. that ain't nothing. Will Smith got everything, y'all. He got everything, and she ain't happy. It don't matter what you got. If a person ain't happy, they ain't gonna be happy, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Ain't nothing you could do about it. So hold on, folks. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. So ain't nothing you could do about it. If they ain't happy, they ain't happy. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Okay? Because first and foremost, a person has to make themselves happy before they can make anybody else happy. They have to make you happy first. You have to find out what makes you happy, and that's one of the things. A lot of people don't even know what makes them happy. A lot of people are afraid to do what makes them happy. We are all different. We are all created. We created equal, but we have different interests. Okay, so at the end of the day, you got to do what interests you. And if that means a lot of times people don't get themselves time to sit with themselves. People if they get out of a relationship, they gotta have somebody around them all the time. They gotta have somebody around them all the time. Never. When are you by yourself, just sitting, understanding yourself? When do you just take a walk by yourself? Anybody you meet that can sit by themselves and everything, have a conversation with them. Gonna blow your damn mind. When they can sit by themselves and they know themselves, it's a different level of confidence. They gonna talk to you. People that sit by themselves. Because I'm one of those type of people. We can explain a whole lot of things to you. When it's time to explain ourselves, we can explain ourselves because we done sit with ourselves long enough to know that, oh, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Yeah, people that don't often sit with themselves or don't give themselves that time, they often don't know what they want. And even if you have a family and you're married and everything, you still have to take time to sit by yourself. Sit by yourself sometimes. You gotta reevaluate. You gotta process some things with yourself. You gotta check in with yourself. You know what I mean? A lot of times, and you have to, because we are all different. If we not right, and we got others that depend on us, we can't get them right if we don't get right. You know what I mean? And then it comes a point when you do check in with yourself like that, right? When you do those, it ain't no set time to do it. It's whenever you feel. You know what I mean? It could be the first thing in the morning. It could be at night. It could be in the middle of the day. Whenever you tapping in with yourself, it don't even have to. It don't gotta have to be an everyday thing. It's just you know that you have to do that because if we don't do that, man, a lot of times people have breakdowns because we're not tapping in and we taking on everybody else's issues and things, and never stopping to take the time out to tap in with ourselves, you know, and just shut down for a minute, even if it's that time, um, I know a lot of people, even myself, that used to be one of my places. A lot of times, when you go in the bathroom and when you take in the shower or whatever, those are the times that a lot of times myself, I get a lot of thoughts that come to me. That's my time. That's like my little office where I can woosah. You know what I mean? You're in the shower, the water running on you, and you just thinking. You know what I mean? And you just relaxed. It's peace. All you hear is the water. That's why you hear a lot of that meditation. They use water because it's like comforting. So for me, and maybe for a lot of you as well, like the shower, that's one place where I'm just, you know what I mean? So You find those places, then naturally they'll come to you. It could be your car. You understand me? Like it could be your car. Some people can be doing things, and that can be somebody. Some people can be. You could go for a drive. There are things that some people do. You know, everybody is different. So we have to tap in with ourselves. Um, whatever. What's the other thing? Um, and what's your definition? This is my last and final thing, folks. Yeah. What is your definition of a real man? What is your definition of a real woman? Okay, if you're a man, what's your definition of a real woman? If you're a woman, what's your definition of a real man? You know, because a lot of and there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to. I mean, it can be a right or wrong answer. I'm gonna give you real. It could be a wrong answer, but I just want to know. I'm not here. This is not a judgment zone. This is something that I wanted to talk about and get you guys to open up and talk about these relationship things. You don't per se have to talk about your relationship you're in right at this very moment, but or your marriage at this very moment if you don't want to. But this is here where we need to talk about these things because like some people think that a real man is just one thing. Like he just goes out and makes the money and brings it back home. Some guys think a real woman is the woman that she just stays in the kitchen and cook all day. Nah, my brother, that ain't no. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. Like she's just around the house barefooted. Nah, brother, that's Viking shit. That ain't today. You know the women today is on that independent thing, and they all about trying to the ownership, entrepreneurship. They all about that. You know what I'm saying? Um, or even helping a man build his empire. You know what I'm saying? So they not just about just staying in the house, man. That's some primitive shit. There ain't nobody doing that no more. That that answer right there from a man, I ain't fucking with you. I ain't going with that. You know what I mean? Gas high, mortgage high, you know, the price for the mortgage for a home. You know what I'm saying? Homes are high. The mortgage, you know, interest rates got shit out of the roof for some. Rent high. The cost of living is high. Okay, y'all see where I'm going? Like, nah, man. Like that, just staying home, just like she just nah, man, nah. And oftentimes, I'm gonna say this in closing. I had a conversation with a woman some time ago, right? And I asked her, I said, she was recently divorced at that time, and she was talking, and she said, "Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, I want to find me a husband and things." And I said, "Okay, well, what are you doing to find him?" She said, "Well, I'm in church and I pray to the Lord and everything." Now, some of y'all may get mad for what I'm about to say, but we adults, and I'm just keeping it real. So she said, "I'm in church and I'm waiting on the Lord to send him." And she said, "But I just want to be home for my husband and cook and clean, so when he come home, he can kick his feet up." I said, "That sounds good." I said, "But what happened with your last husband, if I may ask?" She said, "Oh, well, yeah, he was taking care of me and everything, and then he one day he just snapped out. He just up and left. He didn't even give me no reason. He just left. You know, he just said he can, and when we went through the courts and things, he just couldn't do it no more. And then he got with some woman and she got this and that." I said, "Okay, well, stop right there. That's what. Yeah, he told you." She said, "Yeah, he told her that's what he wanted her to stay home." I said, "Yeah, he told you that, but what happened when he got out there and then he started seeing that, oh, this woman got her thing going on and she got this, got that. It clicked with him." And I said, "See, he went on over there to somebody else and he left you high and dry. And you were taking care of him and your children all your life, not all your life, but all that time. You never fixed on yourself. And now you don't even know where to you still trying to pick up the pieces. Your kids are grown and gone, and you just don't even know what to do. The only thing you know to do is you steady sitting out here. You want to start it. You want to go into another relationship and marriage the same way you went into that one. You didn't learn anything. And I said, if you waiting on the Lord to send him, you talking about here in the church. He probably been right in front of you, but see, you gotta fix yourself first. You gotta fix yourself before you talk about what the Lord gonna send you. And if you are in the church and he ain't in your church, and he ain't in another church that you may congregate with, then ma'am, he ain't in the church. He may be somewhere else. You just ain't tapping in and put yourself there. You see, he put you in the church to work on you. And then you get yourself and repair yourself. He may want you to go, and it may be that person that's willing to have a woman in his life to help repair. He has to be willing to have that woman in his life to help repair him. It may be somebody out there that needs the repair and willing for it. But God's setting you to repair yourself. When you saying you looking in the church, well, if it ain't there, you just think the door's gonna bust open to the church one Sunday, and it's just gonna be a ray of sunlight behind this man, and that's the one. Well, it's gonna be you and 100 other women in there thinking the same thing, that's the one, that one. No, it's not happening like that. Ultimately, after the conversation, she kicked me out of the house. But yeah, I was just keeping it real. Some people can't handle the truth, man. I mean, I'm just like, some things I just can't allow myself to sit through. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and let you just say that. I done heard enough people say that, and they still been waiting. Then it's not there. You stop being stubborn and understand that he is outside of the church, ma'am. He's not just sitting in, he's not going to walk through them doors like that, ma'am. He is out there somewhere, and God said you to get yourself straight and mentally and physically, everything, get it in order, to go out there and know when you see him. See, some people go walk around, they figure that they in that mind state, they got their nose up, they ain't looking at him. He a sinner. Like he that could be the one that you gotta that's willing and looking for a good woman. He need that. But you know what I'm saying? So that's just my message, ladies and gentlemen. Like, know who you dealing with. Know where you're meeting them at. Know your limits. Know your boundaries. Know who you want. Know what's on for. If someone is not on your level, whatever that level is, that's your level. If they're not on your level, you're not going to be compatible. Okay? And I'm just keeping it real. You're not going to be compatible. Let's just make a correlation here, okay? Some people might just say that this might be too extreme. But we just gonna make a real, this gonna make, if you are a person that don't do drugs and you're not into that, are you gonna go out here and try to get with somebody that's really in doing drugs and everything? You're not gonna mix. You're not gonna mix. And it's gonna be all messed up. You know, somebody out here doing the hard drugs, they're gonna be stealing your stuff, everything. They're gonna be messing up your stuff, damaging everything you got. They're going to tear down everything that you have built. You're not going to be compatible, right? So you're not, you know that much, that you're not going to be compatible with somebody in that life, right? So it's the same thing. If somebody's not in your life, if they're not you're a working class person, this person isn't a working class person, this person is out scheming and getting over on people, you're not going to be compatible with that person, okay? So you need to go your way. Leave those people where they at. Okay? Same thing about everything. If this person loves to party all the time and you're not a person that likes to party all the time, you like to have a good time and you like to occasionally go out, that's fine. If you're a person that likes to a couch potato or whatever, you work all week and you just like to come home and relax, and kick back, that's fine. And every now and then you'll step out, that's fine. But then you have somebody that every weekend they want to go out, they can't even sit down nowhere. Every time Friday Friday hit, they ready is a party, and that's not you. Then you need to turn away. Don't let the material things of someone, material items that someone may have sway you, because mentally you're going to fry yourself. And never let no one else talk you into doing something, like a friend or a family member to force you to be with somebody that's against what you believe. Okay? What you stand on is what you believe. So whatever it is you standing on, if it's somebody that got a lot of kids, that's not your thing. Don't do it. But if you don't have a problem with it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you have a problem with that, it's okay. But keep in mind that don't shoot yourself down, because there are folks, you're gonna come across good people, man or woman, that they have kids and they got their thing in order. Okay, when it comes to that, so don't shoot yourself down. Keep an open mind with that. Okay, um, when you start to go on and you start to keep asking yourself, I can't find no good man, because you thinking a good man is a man with no kids. Or you thinking a good chick is a good woman is a woman with no kids. Not so. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can judge it. And one thing, so when it comes to children and people that have children, those are those are people that you can easily judge their character, the way they treat and tend to their children. They're really easy to know to take notice to and see how they are, the way they are with their children. So that's an easy gauge right there. If they don't take too well of their children, they always got their children here, there, and everywhere, and they never doing much, then I tell you a lot about them. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's just that. I'm not classifying myself to be no guru, but yeah, I have enough experience, under my belt with life, period, and relationships, that and talking to people. You know what I'm saying? I met a lot of women that and people in general, and just had conversations with them, and so I've taken things from many of those conversations, and learned people, you know. So that's where today I wanted to bring this to you guys and talk about the relationships and talk about the Will and Jada, and how, like, let's not sit here and act like we don't really see what that is. What some people don't understand. Some people really are like jaded, like thinking like, oh, well, he has all of this. How could she just? That means nothing. There's people still out here really thinking like, just because you have a lot, some people don't give a flying what how much you got. If they're not interested in you, they're not interested in you. They don't care what type of body you got, man or woman. They don't care what type of body you got. If they ain't interested in you, they ain't interested in you. It doesn't matter what you have. It's for a lot of people, it's that one thing. Only they know. And in Jada's instance, for Jada, she was a simple girl. She just liked simple things. That's it. She was just simple. You didn't have to, she didn't need all the lavish things, you know? That can turn a person to really start to dislike you, but at the same time, it's still like, why did you stay? So, those are the things, So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. I hope that you had your teenage sons or daughters sitting around, and had them sit there and watch this and listen, because we often talk when we see these situations with Will and Jada, like adult situations like that. We just keep it there, but there is a generational this thing is passed down through generations. You understand? Like mental abuse is passed down, and sometimes, as we've seen in their situation, and that goes on in many situations, is that most time people they add to that. They enable people to treat them in a certain way, and that and manners that are not fair. They enable people to treat them wrong, you know, and you can't enable anybody. You can't help somebody treat you bad. You know what I mean? Help somebody disrespect you. You can't. You're not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? So I hope that someone got something from this. I hope that you guys chime in the comments and things and speak on that, man, and just share your experience, you know, and things, because that's what this is about, you know. And I, like I said, I brought up this topic because I seen, like, you know, I have family members and things that and friends, associates that were speaking and saying like, man, you should talk on that. You should speak on that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I didn't want to speak on Will and Jada per se, but I say, you know, I will make a correlation between their life and just to show people like this not only just going on in their lives, it's going on in a lot of people's lives. And to have the young teenagers that maybe call themselves starting to wanting to date or liking somebody, this is part of the time to get them to understand those things, so they won't be the ones passing on some mental or be causing mental abuse to someone else, or being a victim of mental abuse. You know what I mean? Like knowing when to back out. Okay, knowing when to back out. When it's love and it's pure, you ain't gotta force it. When it's love and it's pure, everything's gonna be natural. It's gonna be all love, and you're gonna be in your own. Y'all gonna have your own language and your own way of doing things, you know, and and you don't have to try to make your relationship fit in with anyone else's. You doing what you guys are in unison to do and move, you know, and that's what it's about, you know. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. Once again, I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Loco. This is Space Invaders TV. Please, please, please make sure you share with your friends, especially share this topic right here. Share with your friends. Don't hold this information just to yourselves, folks. Share this, share this. I know it was long, but this is serious, and we talking about some real things here. Only the ones who are deep and love this type of talk right here, real talk, gonna respect it. But once again, make sure y'all get that book, man, and you know you'll understand a lot more. You know, get Will's book. Like I said, Amazon, Walmart, they have it in the store, on the website, wherever you want to get it for Walmart. Go check it out. It's 19. Wherever books are sold, you can get that. So but I know definitely Amazon and Walmart is 19.99, $20. Um, go and get that. You know what I mean? And then you'll really get to understand that it's a real good book, um, pertaining to, you know, an entertainer's life. Like he's real honest in this book and candid. You know, you can't do nothing more but to respect that. That's my time, folks. Once again, in Space Invaders TV, I'm out.